Happy Easter, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. We started off a little rainy here in North Vancouver, and then it got really clear. So we went and took advantage of getting some rays to activate our bodies so that we can take in more light. And by taking in more light, you increase your cells and vibration within, allowing you to expand. Norma Jean, how you doing?
You know me, always doing good, doing well, going as deep as I can to understand more and more about, my place and my position in this thing, in this journey called life. So, digging deep, gaining more and more understanding and knowledge of so much that just gaining more of that clarity to know the two worlds in which we exist, knowing that I'm the one that will bring them together, and they're dancing very good right now. So
good. Today's topic, when we just want to talk a little bit about the current energies, and I, for one, am very grateful. There's a fellow that is a osteopath and practices cranial sacral. He came out of acupuncture and just found he didn't have all the answers for his clients. And he's been chasing energy within my body that I've not been able to fully release for, just over a month. But every time it's moved somewhere different. And then I put into practice all the exercises he gives me. And if you don't know osteopath or cranial sacral, it's almost more of a muscle. He does muscle testing with the actual muscles. First, it was the psoas up underneath, and then it moved down into my inside of my groin almost, and then it moved into my lower back. And this past few weeks, I'm like, I can feel it like going kind of up to the middle of my back too. So we had a good conversation. And then he came up to my cranium and he just did one of those pulls and held that. And that was affecting all the way down. So we're talking about tilt and axis, right? Explain what you meant, but yeah, you're right. Because you think about it, your head's freaking heavy.
and
I always say weevils wobble, but they don't fall down. But I've been wobbling a little bit over this one. Yeah. Hello, lovely Cindy. Good to see you. Yeah. And I'm still basking in Sedona energy as well. And just grateful that our weather actually looks really good for the next week here. And then we'll see what happens next. So we're talking about this being present with the body, being present with the mind, being present with what you feel and the energies, and being really conscientious about where you're willing to expend your energy. What are you willing to insert yourself into or comment on or interact with? So during the last few months, I've been I want to interact with many because I'm like, oh, it's just a shit storm out there. I'm just going to hold my own and keep my resonance, because the most important thing each of us can do is hold our own frequency vibration so that we become the best version of ourselves possible. Because in doing that, we're helping other people without them even knowing it. You don't have to try and convince them with the words and the mind. Speak to that, Norma.
Yeah, I mean, it's about you. The more you come to understand who you are and your position, your stand in this experience, the greater you master being able to just remain in that, no matter what's going on in your environment, because this is about you, just as this is about every other individual that is existing in this realm. simultaneously along with you. So it's about holding your own. It's about holding the resonance of self where no matter what's going on, you just happen to be that one that's among however many that's out there around you that's not reacting to what's taking place in that environment or with others. And you get to be that beacon that shines a light in a different way. You are that personification of that change that people are seeking, want, and doing what they can to understand what that is and what that looks like for themselves. So just stand still in self, be in that center, because right now, you know, each of them talk about that we got one world becoming another, and once, but from my perspective, it's a world that has where that balance has been off for so long. So now we're getting to that place where that balance is starting to come back in. Whether it's that is through spirituality, whether it's through that people are educating themselves on, you know, where they stand, you know, in their world as opposed to the world. So, you know, this is about how much can I come to understand where I exist so that I may understand more and more the understanding, overstanding of my position so that I may remain centered in everything, for I'm aware of what's taking place, where I'm at, where I stand, whether that's I'm standing in a spiritual position where I'm expressing that in a spiritual way, or I'm standing in this commercial position, yet knowing that I've done what I need to understand how to better stand in that and hold my own, and know that I stand in honor, where I know that I am the remedy to any and all situations when it comes to this commercial entity that has been attached. So it's all about, you know, gaining knowledge, not because it's not that you're not smart. It's gaining knowledge so you may understand how this game has been created, who created it, what they created it for and from, in understanding so much, just allowing yourself to know more of the truth by broadening your understanding through the knowledge that you gain, where others have been able to put in that time to bring to you and provide you with that ability to have more understanding of this thing that they call a game.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's just roll this back a tiny bit before I say hi to the others that have joined. So the whole point of this is to realize that we're all souls having a human experience. Or maybe you believe you're a human with a soul. Two very different things. As a sovereign soul having a human experience and having been a rebel, both of us, always forging a different path because the status quo just wasn't acceptable. No, that's not right. We didn't know at the time why we had that strength to be that resilient, but it's showing up and it's come up again consistently. We have the same energies as we did 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago. It's either you learn the lessons then and you learn to rise above it and just observe it and not waste any energy on it because it's not worth your effort and time. No way. I'm over here. I'm creating a new way of being to understand what has gone on in the realm, how the structure was created, and how do I find my way back to free the form? Because when we came in, we were shackled. We came in and we were born as babies. It started right then. All the conditioning and programming, and our parents just did the very best they could with what they knew, and their grandparents. It's been a long game, and I don't have any animosity towards or hate towards those that created the game. It's like, interesting, because I believe we're all particles of source. We're all energy that can't be created or destroyed. And therefore, as a collective whole, damn, we all agreed to get this far off our centers. All right. For we only get to remember what we need to remember for any given time, so that we may still relate to part of the collective, so that we may make sure we learn that which we are meant to learn in this point in time, staying present. What can I do right now for my energy, for my mind, for my body, and for my soul? That's just another little energetic take. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you hit the head on the on the nail on the head.
Hit the nail.
Yeah. Because you
head on the nail.
Yeah, when we look at rebel, all right.
Yeah.
You spoke to resilience, not resistance.
Yeah.
And that's two different ways of approaching. All right. And when we look at rebel and we truly signify and understand totally what it is speaking to, rebel is just a rebel, which means you either ring the bell and speaking your truth, knowing where you stand, you're ringing the bell. But to resist is to strike the bell in ways that will crack because of that resistance. Where our approach is very vitally important here, that it's not about resisting what is. It exists. It's about understanding how to work with what is. And that's where that resilience comes in, where each time you provide yourself with the knowledge to understand that I was this way because there was just something that did not resonate with me about what I was being put into, what I was being taught about where I was. So, because I've been there, I've done this resistance thing, and it's going to prove to you every time. Resistance just brings persistence in what it is that you're struggling with. But when you utilize it and make it a resilience, then you keep continuing to push forward. So that way you can ring that bell of truth and do it in an honorable and integral way, where it's not a forcing, but just a way to bring forth lifting a veil that was placed over us, since we've come here. Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. We came in birthed with a yoke upon our shoulders around our neck that is not ours. But knowledge will give you the chance and opportunity to understand how to remove that when you understand more and more of the understanding of who you are in this. And each of you are so vitally important to what is taking place.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Melanie's over on Rumble. Beautiful. Thank you all for joining us today. And in the staying present, let's go back to some basics to give you some tools. At 4:30, we have a Zoom call we need to jump on, which is part of our taking radical responsibility for ourselves and making sure that we cover all the bases as we progress through this, getting ourselves out of the public and into the private. And I'm going first. And Norma Jean's right beside me energetically, if not ahead in many ways on the learning portion. And so then I come in and do my catch up, so to speak. But energetically, the very first thing you can control when something doesn't feel right in your environment is your breath. First thing. Mm-hmm. And then maybe bite your tongue a little bit, because you don't want to react. You want to wait and respond. And these are all tools we've given you. I've been having to do extra grounding lately. Like extra, like full lie down, whether it's at the beach or in the grass somewhere, just really making sure that I'm connecting with Earth. We are Earth. Don't forget. And the trees, if you can't there's a little bit of snow where you are, go hug a tree for a bit. Hang out with the tree. The tree will eventually give you some wisdom, if not right away, depending on how calm you are. Yeah. And control what you can and let go of the rest. Go do something that brings you joy. Joy will always reset you, so to speak, energetically. And remember, your energies, the energy and emotions, the energy and motion, they're for you. They're for you to listen to learn to understand your body and what it's trying to tell you. And it's really important that, you spend some time with that, whether it needs to be in quiet contemplation, meditation, a bath, however you're called, a walk, a slow walk, intentional walk, doing the walk of the eight, that figure eight motion where you put down 3 stones and you set your intention with the question and you just start walking and keep walking 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. You will get an answer if you can get out of your head and into your heart with all of that. This is your Taurus center, so to speak, right? It's where your heart center is. Mm-hmm. It's your, oh my gosh, I had the word earlier because it was popping up for me, assemblage point. Your assemblage point can be off balance. If it's too much to the left, maybe you're a bit soft. If it's too much to the right, maybe you're doing a little too much. So pay attention. How are you feeling? How are you responding? How are you reacting? If it's up too high, you're probably a little bit spacey. And if it's down too low, you're probably feeling a bit sluggish. Yeah. And ask me more if you have questions around that one. Norma, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's definitely about the clarity of awareness.
Yeah.
And yeah, because for so long, given that, the first world that I knew of was the world that's within me. And then became aware of another world, the one outside me. And there were times that, as I reflected on what I'm come to understand, through my research and just putting in this time to fully grasp what has taken place. I mean, I've done what I need to do to understand the history, how I see history has repeated itself, to completely grasp as much as possible my ability to see these the revolvingness in how they keep saying that things keep repeating themselves in their world. That as I look at this and I look at history and I come to understand the history of what's taken place and how all this came to be, it was one of those that it just come to the full recognition that in my awareness, because I was present, because I'm taking what I've experienced and what I know, and I'm learning that there are different truths, because more and more things are coming out for us to be able to have the ability to know more truth through our discernment, that it was a system that was being modified over time, that it finally came to where, in this period of, late 1700s, up to the 1800s, that it finally got to where it was mastered, so to speak. But it was mastered in ways where, it had its, what you would see as positive, but as well as negative, because this is where entities such as through history were expressed as, Zeus, Aphrodite, Ra, Isis, Jupiter, Mars. These are entities, but they're entities because they have energies, where someone finally came to this position of understanding how to take an entity and put it in place. And it was through a thing called corporation. So it was like, as you just gain knowledge and understanding, overstanding of what we are doing in this journey called life, that's why I say, don't be so hard on yourself. Relax. take a breath for once. Be the thing that you seek, or that you have been seeking this whole time from others, because you are the greatest asset to provide yourself that with.
Talk to yourself. Yeah, it's okay. We got this. No, you don't need that fifth cookie. Just kidding. Yeah, but definitely talk to yourself. This is powerful. Write it out. Put it on sticky notes if you need to.
Right.
You know, as much as we can offer advice, we can't do it for you. But we're willing to sit beside you and guide you through this process if you would like to be part of it. And so a couple things come to mind around that. If your energy is discombobulated, I'm not going to recommend you do it. You've got to be stable. So that's the number one thing. And your health is your wealth. So as much as you can, right? As much as you can to manage your own health. And so that's why I've been seeing this fellow, because I knew it was something that had to do with the form that wasn't energetic per se. So it was like, you know, this body's 55 years old. Hey, it needs a tune-up too. And so I'm honoring that. I do a good job of taking care of it, but I really honor that, you know, it's okay to seek help in specific areas, especially when you know it's not a whack and crack chiropractor, right? I just couldn't do that. That didn't resonate for me. This resonates because I just close my eyes and I can feel the energy and what's going on. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is what we needed, that we didn't even know we needed. So, but putting your health first and your well-being, making sure you're getting enough sleep. I mean, these are all basic things, but we're in a bit of a turbulent time per se, right? Energies are high, especially here in Canada. Yeah, you got to be careful what you say on public. Yeah, people are a little political these days, and it's like, well, you can play at that level, or you can rise yourself right above it and look down upon it and go, oh yeah, this is an old game. It's not even them. It's like a person way up here. So as much as you think that you have a choice and you're giving your energy to it, you're just giving your power away. So, in our opinion. Yeah.
Oh, we've lived it, you know?
Right.
And,
Yeah.
my self-dialogue has changed so much. I mean, I've been changing how I speak with myself since I began to gain the knowledge that's out there for me to utilize through discernment, through experiences. So, because your well-being is your wealth and health, is your health and wealth, because you're the currency for that.
Yeah.
Even if you can't speak your needs to someone else, tell yourself what your needs are. Yeah. Have that self-dialogue to be able to express those feelings, so you become more acclimated with what this form is telling you, because that's what that is, that tangibleness, that ache, that pain, that burdensome of thought, that even though it has this burdening effect, it doesn't mean that I don't need to step back and say, what of this is real? Is this in my reality, or is it I'm just allowing this thought to burden me, to put me in what's considered a depressed state, because I'm perpetuating that feeling instead of recognizing, coming to an awareness position, which is in the present moment, to see it for what it really ultimately is expressing, is conveying to me. And that's my well-being. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the more we sort of step into this, the less, like the whole time in Sedona, I told everyone, you know, I even said next time I want someone who does all the photographs for everyone and captures everything, and everyone can just hand their phones in and just be. Because I really I took some photos and stuff, and I was on my laptop at the dinner table a couple times before or after dinner. But I definitely was like, no, I just want to be present. I'm done with this. What am I missing out on? Nothing. You're not missing anything on social media these days. So instead of investing, spending your space, your time, your wealth, your health there, claim it back. Get creative. I know Shay's working on a chair right now, which I think is super cool. Get creative. Put on some music. And even if you need to take a break from us, do it. It's okay. Yeah. You know, you find when you take a week off and you go away for a week, nobody even realized you were gone. Nobody missed you. You can go away for a month sometimes and nobody even knows you're gone. Some people leave Facebook permanently and nobody knows they were gone. So, you know, we think we're being social and connected, but in many ways it's just entering a bunch of programming. I've never seen so many ads as I have on Facebook recently. It's like somebody's like spun the wheel on doing more ads since AI came in, because I feel like it's in conjunction with, and I'm like, oh, I just being close them. But more importantly, I go in, I do my post, I go through and comment on, you know, search those people I choose to interact with the most, and then I'm out. Same for TikTok, same for Instagram, right? They're all the same. So I put I'm number one. Me first. Not in a jelly belly way, just me first. It's just how it goes. Yeah. Can you do that too? Can you put yourself first? Can you prioritize your peace? And the ads seem to read my mind.
It's called algorithm love.
Yep, absolutely.
And Facebook was the one that created that.
Yeah. No, you think about that, and then you think about MK Ultra, and they go hand in hand. Yeah.
Every single bit of it. Every single bit of it. Yeah. Because she does better than I do. I don't even get on social media. Nope.
If I didn't go on social media, I wouldn't know all you souls. So, right. So in some ways, that is one of my gifts, is that I'm able to do that. So
I'm glad she does. This gives me the chance and opportunity to have to put my, put the time aside for more knowledge, more creative purposes for.
This is our balance. Content. This is our balance on the teeter-totter ride. Speaking of which, do you want to pop off and join the Zoom, and I'll wrap up here? You got some parting words for today for everyone?
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you in ways that no one else will ever be able to, but yet once you do, you'll be able to express it and know that you're expressing, or at least conveying it in ways that no matter if someone else completely fully grasp what it is that you're conveying, you still have not blocked your ability to speak to a need, to speak to what that feeling is behind that need. So do you. There is what they call a healthy level of selfishness, but it's the level that brings about something that propels you and doesn't forget about who you are in this. So do you always put yourself and your well-being first with you, so that you may understand how to convey that with others?
Beautiful. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Yeah. And then I need to spin myself back to single. Ugh. Pata. Yeah. You know, I tell you, Norma Jean's going to be laughing at me because now I've disappeared myself. Now she's trying to fix it.
I'm trying to figure out where that part went. I'm like, where'd it go?
I don't know, but it's not here. It's gone, right?
Yep. I'm going to put it on there again. So
they disappeared it on us.
Bye.
Oh, I can be half a person, or I can go to this one. Norma G's going to try and fix it in the background. Hello, Carolyn. Don't even worry about it, my love. I'm glad you could make it. So This image behind me is sort of, exactly what we did when we were in Sedona. And now that I know I can do that one, let's see. That one, there we go. So you can see that there's a big energy ball in the middle. And actually, we were all sitting around a fire at one point. It's creating a circle. So let's just talk about why I host events the way I host events, just so you can all have a sense of it. So, and I will do a whole share on Sedona and some some slideshows for everyone so they can see. And Sedona, I didn't get to go in early, and I normally like to at least have 24 hours on my own. But because of the flights and then renting the car and then having to drive, it was like, you know what, we're just going to make it work. And there was 5 people in me, and it was beautiful, really, really beautiful, really respectful, really honoring. And so, in creating this circle of celebration, of allowing everyone to be who they wanted to be, to show up as themselves and share their stories, even if they weren't stories of joy. Maybe they were stories of sadness and heartbreak, but it's that release. And in that release is a bit of a purge. And then, you know, the mission is over the trip to rewrite those stories. Because when we hang on to those old stories, why would we want to give energy to something that is not what we desire? We want to claim our energy back. And you could even say that around some stories. Oh, I call all my energy back from any situation where there's negativity towards me. I call all my energy back. And I did that after leaving a group, and I called all my energy back, and Norma Jean just went, "What the hell did you just do?" So I called my energy back. She's like, "I felt that." And she didn't even know what I was doing or saying. So that's how powerful it can be. And so even on a trip, it's like, call all my energy back. I get grounded right away, making sure. But as we host these circles and we do different activities together, and we get out in nature, we did some qigong, we do all these things that create a container of sharing, experiencing. And in sharing our experiences as we did different things, there was more connection points, more openings. And I have to say that I was very honored, like so deeply grateful for the experience that everyone had, because it is my mission to be this guide, this witness, to be a mirror for others, which isn't always pleasant for all involved, but to be able to hold that space and hold that resonance with love. There's no judgment. There's firmness sometimes, but there's no judgment. And then guide back to themselves. Guiding themselves, we're all being guided to come home to us. And so we can't escape through escape through being out in the ether, so to speak, and traveling all the time energetically and sitting in meditation. It's this balance of being open, connected, yet grounded, and realizing you are a human. You can't run around, love and light, love and light, love and light. We need to alchemize what's in the dark and bring it to the light. And there was a lot of that this winter for many of us. And I can't even be like, oh, take consistent steps each day. Like, I'm pretty inconsistent on social media, because if I don't feel like going on, I'm not going on. I won't do something unless it's a line for me to do it. I'm passionate about it. And it has to be authentic for me. So when I'm guided to, I authentically show up. And it doesn't mean that I don't have low moments, that I'm not struggling, that I'm not frustrated sometimes. I am. I'm human. But what can do? What can I control? Can get myself out of it. I have that capacity. And the biggest thing I do is mostly laugh at myself. What happened this morning? Or something silly this morning going on. Anyways, but it's the first thing I'll do is find something to laugh about, because in that laughter, it lightens everything. And being in the sun just brings me joy. I'm truly a Leo. I love the sun. The sun is like, it gives me so much energy. Not a lot. I don't need to lie out there for hours or play out there for hours. I need half an hour, 45 minutes. It's like a full reset. What do you do for yourself to nurture yourself, to honor you? Because to be a true light warrior, right? One has to show up. If we're a way shower, we're leading. I'm on that edge of creating something that very few have done. But I'm not afraid. And I'm not afraid because I got me. Now, it does help to have support. But once I decide that let's get it done, it's taken a lot for me. Okay, just be patient. That'll happen when it happens. And so there's some steps I'm having to take right now, which is clearing. And I knew I had to do it this winter. All right, we have to clean this up. You have to clean up any disharmony in your field. That's important. So don't wait. Do the paperwork. Clear it out, because you don't know how good it can get and when it can happen. So here we are on April 20th, 2025. And it's that spring. It's taking that time to spring into action. All right, we had a long, dark winter. It's time to go. It's go time. And this winter really taught me that this body, the soul, craves a heck of a lot more light during the winter. And I'm doing a little template on the circadian rhythm, and that if you feel discombobulated, go get 30 minutes of light in the morning. Go sit outside and sip your tea and let me know how you feel. Yeah, Kriba. Absolutely. So I dumped TikTok, realized, yeah, absolutely. It doesn't take much because I know right away. I'm very conscious and observing myself because I'm the observer. I'm not the one thinking. I'm not the one speaking. I'm the one observing that and, guiding and assisting. But when I'm that observer and I'm witnessing, I'm like, oh yeah, go get a book. Go read a book. Go for a walk. Redirect. I find the winters to be habitual for consuming more food because it's cooler. I've always put on a little weight in the winter, and then in the spring and summer, it flows. And so I'm just curious, what happens if I'm just in a nicer climate all year round? What will happen? Will I miss the snow that much? I don't know. I've spent a lot of years playing in the snow. Maybe it's time for something new. What does your heart desire? Do you ask it? What is your purpose? Generally, your purpose is your north node in astrology. And you can also think about what you did when you were a kid. And for myself, my friend had this beautiful set of like miniature horses, but they were big. And we would set everything up, organize it all, set it all up. And then I'd be like, all right, I'm done. I don't want to play it. So right there, I knew I'm more of the architect. I like to create the structure. and make sure everything's okay, everyone's having a good time, everyone's safe. That's my that's my wheelhouse, so to speak. And I'm good. I'm so good in situations where others are not, and that's one of my superpowers too. It can be totally chaotic around me, and I can just sit and observe. We had one attendee come in hot off, stuck in traffic trying to catch a flight, and, you know, I just phoned her. And the 2 of them had each other riled up in the car because a friend was driving, and I just said, "Breathe. There's nothing that you're reacting this way is gonna benefit in getting you here faster. You'll be here on time. It'll be really smooth. I've already set the line. I've already energetically got us on the plane. Don't worry about it." And sure enough, zoop. Oh, that was easy. Traveling with me is different than traveling with other people because there's just no fear, no worry. It just is. And everything's easy. And it's incredible. Between you and I, the airports are really quiet. It's actually a good time to travel because all Canadians are saying, don't travel to the US." It's a great time to travel to the US if you want to go to the US because of that alone. So, yeah, just here to remind you, you do you, but do you better. Be kinder to yourself. Love yourself more. I've been adding in this morning routine of the dry brushing and the oiling and, some bouncing with the fascia maneuvers. Love this body. It holds so much for you. Work with it. You're not here to escape it. You're not even here really to escape the matrix. You're here to take yourself out of the public and into the private. And I'm going first. And I should have confirmation in about 2 to 3 weeks. And so I know many of you are keen on this, so let's keep talking. And for now, I'm gonna let you go. Sending you so much love from my heart. And remember that random acts of kindness, you receive as much as you give. So when in doubt, kindness out. Yeah, I love you guys.